This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time to stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome to the Special Chronicles Podcast. My name is Daniel Smrokowski. I'm the founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Tribal Global Messenger alum with Special Olympics and a service ambassador at United Airlines. Our website, specialchronicles.com. We can stream archives of over 750 episodes absolutely for free. And I follow Special Chronicles on social media, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Again, specialchronicles.com. This week on the Special Chronicles Podcast, we're so excited to have a returning guest. I'm excited when, how did I get reconnected with this guest? Well, we're both co-workers at United. I think we DM'd each other on the Insta, and then we texted, and then somehow I don't know. We go way back. We're colleagues at United. I think that's all we got. Well, yeah. You know what? Sometimes I forget how we get connected. Well, we connected with guests. It's all good. But anyways, this week on the Special Chronicles Podcast, we are welcoming back to the program our good chum. Can I say chum? Chum, buddy, friend, and listener of the pod, Cody Field, a Special Olympics Colorado athlete and fellow service ambassador at United Airlines, to talk about his new opportunity with WWE as the Impact Community Correspondent. Please put your virtual hands together. We've got some cheers for you, Cody, and our audience is going to be cheering and applauding as we welcome back to the pod, Cody Field. Welcome back, Cody.
Woo! Good to see you, Daniel. How's it been, broski?
It was good to have you on the program, and remind me and our listeners, but mostly just remind me, how did we get reconnected to have you come on and talk about WWE Impact Community Correspondent? But how did we get, because you've been on the pod a few years ago.
Yeah, I was on 2 years ago. And I remember us doing the new Sosas for Denver. Remember that podcast we did? Yeah, I remember it perfectly well within my heart and brain. But I'll tell you this. So I'm Cody Field. I'm diagnosed with bipolar schizoaffective, which I've outnumbered the schizoaffective parts. That's way off my book. And I'm a Special Olympic. And I'm a Special Olympics Colorado service ambassador for United. One of the best on the team with everyone on my team as well.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. And so, I'm glad that you reminded that. And for those of you that want to go back and hear about Cody, if any of our listeners want to go back and hear about your journey coming to work at United Airlines as a service ambassador, go back in the archives, folks. Go to specialchronicles.com, click on listen, and then click on Unified at Work. And we've got a playlist called Meet the Sources. Actually, I will try to put a link to that in the show notes for this episode. So wherever you listen, go look down below in the description, and I'll put a link to, I think it's specialchronicles.com/meet-sosas. I think that's what it is. But the link will be down, and you guys can just, if you go to our Meet the Sources playlist on specialchronicles.com, you can click on DEN, which is the airport code for Denver, and then you can find Cody's episode. And so you introduce yourself. and your job at United. But how did you get started in? Because if it wasn't for our jobs as service ambassadors at United, if it wasn't for this opportunity that you have with WWE Impact Community Correspondent, this all wouldn't be possible without Special Olympics and without this movement. So we share with our listeners how you got started in Special Olympics, what sports you compete in, and how you get started in athlete leadership.
Well, when I first started with Special Olympics, before that, I was on this soccer team called Storm, like I said in my podcast. They bullied me a lot. And the last practice we were at, the coaches told, well, first off, the athletes for that team kept dogpiling me, and I couldn't even breathe whatsoever. But the coaches brought them off me, and I was like, nope, that's my last practice. But when my mom discovered Special Olympics somewhere, I think on the newspaper, somewhere around, I guess I can't remember, she said, Cody, this is a good matchup for you. And for those of you that don't know, my mom, Karen Field, is going to Wrestle Mania with me. Woo!
Awesome.
And how I got started with, what was the last question you said after Special Olympics, to be sure?
You got started in athlete leadership.
Yes. Okay. So I started with athlete leadership because my dad told me it was a good opportunity, and he said I'd be on the spotlight most of the time. So I'm like, oh, here we go. So I started as a global messenger. And when I started as a global messenger, the funny part is I was the first graduate from global messenger training right here in Colorado.
Awesome.
Ever.
Awesome. Well, what all, remind our listeners, what are some of the challenges? Because it kind of to set a foundation for our listeners and kind of take us back before you got involved in Special Olympics. What were some of the challenges because of your disability?
Good question, Daniel. So my challenges were like mood swings, some anger. It was before I had my medicine I take today, Abilify and Trileptal, 2 times a day as always. And I still take those meds as always. And to be quite honest, the struggles I've had were like depression, anger, most importantly, mood swings on my bipolar side. So that wouldn't be possible without my whole family, like my mom, my dad, including my 3 sisters. The one I want to point out for one of my sisters that really, 2 of them actually, that actually like helped me through my journey. My oldest sister, Alexandria Field, and my sister that inspired me to snowboard, Catherine Rainier.
Awesome. And of course, for the past 15 years, longtime listeners of this podcast will know and should know, and anybody involved in the Special Olympics movement knows that it's not about our challenges, but that's the foundation of who you are, who I am, who, you know, the millions of Special Olympics athletes across the globe. But that's not the purpose. That's not the highlight. What we highlight is our joys and accomplishments. So can you, and we'll get into one of your newest accomplishments in the next segment. So for those of you listening, I'm sure you're on the edge of your seats, but you're going to have to just kind of just don't fall off your chair yet. But because Cody has, we'll get into that big announcement, that big new accomplishment in just a moment. But it's not about our challenges, but it's about our joys and accomplishments. So can you give us what are a few of your joys and accomplishments because of your disability?
Absolutely, Daniel. So one of them, actually a few of them before I went to World Winter Games, I'm actually 34 state winter game medals in snowboarding and 0 losses. But whenever I'm like, whenever I see my opponents and they get like silver or bronze, I still raise their hands like a WWE superstar. Now, after I got, like, I'd say when I was 21 years old, because I'm 31 right now. For those of you that don't know, I went to World Winter Games in South Korea, and I got 3 gold medals. 3 gold medals. And I still raise my friend Chase's hand in ovation, just like I do with the other ones, like Charles and Matt. And I'll tell you this: at X Games, silver in 2022 on my first year, and I'm telling you, I still got the game, the Triple H style game.
Awesome. Well, that is totally pretty powerful, and neat that you went to the World Games in South
Pyeongchang,
Korea.
South Korea.
Which, for those of you listening, if you go to specialchronicles.com, click on listen, and then click on our Special Olympics World Games series, I produced maybe 2 or 3 episodes about those World Games. The most recent World Games, we have a lot more coverage, but we have just a little bit of coverage because that was
11 years ago. 11 years ago.
So that was about 5 years into that. When I started podcast, that was 5 years, about 5-6 years after I started podcasting. So we've got some coverage of those games. But we're going to go ahead, and our listeners probably hear some background music coming up, and that means, what does that mean? It's time to take a break because let you know how you can support this podcast. We'll be right back with Cody Field, the WWE Impact Community Correspondent, to talk all about this new opportunity after the break, right here on SpecialChronicles.com. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. Please support this podcast to help us operate our studio and pay our monthly website, podcast and video, recording studio hosting, and for the mission, giving respect and voice to those of us with disabilities. You can make a one-time gift at specialchronicles.com/give, but I'm sure you all want to watch the pre-show with Cody and to get access to our bonus features. And if you and to do that, you have to become a Patreon, patreon.com/Special Chronicles. That's patreon.com/Special Chronicles. You get access to the exclusive bonus content, such as that pre-show. Ooh, and now back to the show with Cody. And Cody, as we try to fade that off, this is the part of the episode where we get into the WWE. But before we get into the new opportunity, let's take our listeners back, because some listeners might know about this global partnership between Special Olympics and WWE, but I'm sure we might have some new listeners that are wondering. I know Special Olympics, I know WWE, but the two are partnering together. What is that all about? So, can you help to educate our listeners on how you got involved with WWE and why is Special Olympics and WWE partnering together?
Well, when I first watched WWE in my whole childhood was at 5 years old. And when I started watching them, before that, we had a game for the PlayStation 1. It was called SmackDown. And oh my gosh, my sister kept playing as Kane, and I kept playing as like Jeff Hardy or both Kane or whatever. But when I was introduced to The Undertaker, he had a streak of his own at Wrestle Mania. After I won the World Game medals, the year after that, he loses his first match at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar. But to answer the second question, right after I knew WWE, since I was 5, the partnership with Special Olympics and WWE, it's not really it's actually the greatest partnership I've ever been part of. Because one, when I was at X Games, they actually, Chad Gable sent me a message. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And then I did a lot of messages for The Undertaker himself for his 30th anniversary. But the partnership with WWE and Special Olympics, I don't just call that the tag team duo, if you know what I mean. I call it the Team Extreme partnership because I love it. But how they got partnered with each other, that's a good question because I never looked that up yet. I think it's because, it's because of
It's
Go on.
let's do a quick on-air search because I'm sure our listeners can search. But if we do a quick search, then let's do just do a quick Special Olympics WWE. We're looking on the SpecialOlympics.org. And Special Olympics in W. I'm looking at a press. No, that doesn't help. Let's see. That's not clicking. Let's okay. I'm looking at Special Olympics WWE announced a global partnership. They announced a multi-year extension of the global partnership to create inclusion through sports and this funny should have done but I just some of what I've known. They have most recently they partnered at the last World Games in Berlin. I was there along with Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Which honestly, I wish I got a picture with him, but I think he was at, I want to say, the Coca-Cola luncheon that I was speaking at.
He was there. He was there.
Yeah. So I think he probably saw me speak there. So he's Drew McIntyre is a big supporter, and
he's also our global ambassador.
He's also, yes, that is totally right. He's also a global ambassador. And for anybody listening in from Special Olympics International, if you want to just go ahead and email feedback at specialchronicles.com and let me know. We can let our listeners know more and let you guys all know. But just go to maybe somebody in Special Olympics should give us a link and we can give you more information. But with that, what have you seen, Cody, from your perspective on the impact of WWE and Special Olympics? Because we'll get into more about this new opportunity in the next segment. But what have you seen has been the impact of being a Special Olympics athlete of WWE and Special Olympics? How's that impacted you?
It shows me Cody Rhodes came backstage at the Rumble and he told me that I was the new Impact correspondent. And the first ever, actually, he told me. So
awesome.
What happened? What? Yeah.
Well,
so when I heard
let's tease our listeners. We'll get into that's a good tease. So leave us on the edge of those seats. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we'll come back and have you, Cody, share about this community, WWE Impact Community Correspondent, and how you got that after this next break. As we hear, you all probably hear some background music coming up, and so we'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd, the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program of Energy and Solar Efficiency. You can learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And thank you. With that, I figured it up. Yes, we are back. This is the new opportunity, Cody, that you have had as this community impact correspondent. You're about to tell us before that we had to take a quick 10-second break because it's all about our supporters. And so how can you now tell us how you got this opportunity of WWE Impact Community Correspondent. You were about to tell us you were backstage, and somebody else whose name's Cody came up to you.
Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare himself. And when I was waiting backstage with Beck, one of my best friends from the Make-A-Wish Foundation named Beckham, Rhea Ripley also comes backstage, but that was before Cody Rhodes. But when Cody Rhodes came right backstage, he's like in that video that's on the bump right now. For those of you that don't know, I was on the bump 2 weeks ago. I know, actually 2 weeks ago. I was close. No, that's one. I can't remember. But it was on the bump on the Wednesday of March 20th. Yeah. They showed the video for Cody Rhodes and me. Here's the thing. Cody told me, Cody, we want to offer you the role of WWE Impact Community Correspondent, the first ever. And when I heard those words, I just about jumped out of my boots, hoping to hit the ceiling or something. It was pretty low. But I loved when he told me that. It was like, it was my dream, because when I asked my buddy Chris for Special Mix International, when I asked him at the Royal Rumble, when I asked him, he's like, am I going to WrestleMania? He did this to me. He's like, yeah, you're going to WrestleMania, Cody. You're going to Mania.
Yeah, I know Chris Bunce, I believe his name, Chris Bunce. Yeah,
that's him.
Chris Bunce.
Yeah,
I know him because he does also a lot with Special Olympics and ESPN and that partnership, and yeah. So Chris, if you'll, well, actually, we should send Chris this episode because he is awesome. He's an awesome supporter. I know Chris does the polo plunge a lot in DC, and yeah. Moving on, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're gonna be doing as a WWE Impact Community Correspondent, and when is this event taking place, and what are you gonna be doing? I mean, I'm probably similar to like what I do on this podcast. You'll probably be asking a lot of questions like I'm asking you right now. So you'll be on my side of the microphone. but can you tell us when is this happening, and walk us through this event of what you're going to be doing?
absolutely, Daniel. So I leave for the Philadelphia on April 3rd, and I am flying United, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And then right when I get there, I'm going to start with the Boys and Girls Club on Thursday.
And it's where you're flying from Denver to
Philadelphia.
Okay.
PHL, I know the code for that one, easy. But I've studied, trust me, all the way. But when I get to Philadelphia on the 3rd, on the 4th of April, the Thursday, I will be helping out the Boys and Girls Club, like doing some questions for them, interviewing superstars. And then Friday, I'll be doing the Make-A-Wish, the same thing I'm doing with the Boys and Girls Club, but I'm going to unveil something special for them. That's going to be a secret until Friday the 5th.
You can't give up an exclusive?
It's somewhere where they can have some fun, but that's all I can say. But I will say this. April 6th, WrestleMania Saturday, I get to be on the kickoff show for WrestleMania. And I get to do my match predictions. I get my match predictions in. I believe Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story on WrestleMania because I want him to finish it and get the Undisputed title, because I promised everyone I'd bring home a replica title if he got it. But after that, when the show is over, I get to interview one of my favorite King of Kings at the press conference. You'll know him as the Game, the Cerebral Assassin, and the King of Kings himself, Triple H.
Awesome. And these interviews, are you doing these on, is it pre-recorded and then it'll be on YouTube, or is this going to be live on Instagram or Facebook, or what is it? Or can you tell us like how,
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be some of them are going to be pre-recorded, but there's a big but to this. Most of them will be live. That's what I do know. So
awesome.
There's other ways you could go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say to like follow, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners are gonna want to follow along and watch you live as the WWE Impact Community Correspondent. So like, what's the where to follow on social and to watch you live?
You can watch us on Instagram, Facebook, X. And it's going to be at Special Olympics North America and at Special Olympics Colorado, both ways.
Okay.
And you can also watch me on Peacock if they're going to be live at Wrestle Mania 40. Dead Series XL, you name it.
Awesome. So with that, is there anything else about this before we take a final break and get to that final segment? Is there anything else about so you said you're flying from Denver to Philadelphia, and it's the event is taking place. What's the
date? At Lincoln Financial Field. The event for WrestleMania will be April 6th and 7th, Saturday and Sunday.
April 6th and 7th, and so this episode is actually going live on April 15th. So a week. After the event, but maybe, you know what? Maybe we will. So it's after. So, but I'm sure our listeners can go back on the Instagram and X and Facebook on Special Olympics North America and Colorado to watch the replays. And you were about to tell us something that is going to happen that you're not allowed to talk about now, but this episode is like right now we're not live, it's on demand, so people are going to hear this after the event. So what was that bit of news that you were going to share, because our listeners are going to hear this afterwards. So what was that bit of news that you're going to...
So Cody Rhodes, I heard, and I've seen all the Raw and SmackDown episodes, that Cody Rhodes should win and is destined to win. Because with the setup they got right now for like Raw and SmackDown, I think Cody Rhodes is going to pin Roman Reigns. Regardless if Cody wins or loses, I'm still bringing home a replica of the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I have the money now. I can do it. I've got it in my mind all this time. And I will keep everyone posted on social media if Cody wins. You have my word.
And will we mind our listeners how to follow you on social media after this last break? You guys all probably hear in the background, and then we'll take one final break as you hear the background music is coming up. Support for Special Chronicles comes from United Airlines Bridge Disability Business Resource Group, connecting people of all abilities. You can learn more on United's commitment to disability inclusion for employment and travel at specialchronicles.com/United, specialchronicles.com/United. And you can also book your travel. But Cody and I, we can't give you a buddy pass. But what, Cody? No, but we recommend that if you guys are flying this summer or spring or now, because Cody, you fly next weekend. I'm flying next weekend, and both of us are flying on United Airlines.
Airlines.
And so we want you all to fly the friendly skies, because as service ambassadors, we know firsthand. I'm getting too excited here. We show love to people that show us hate. A lot of times customers can get upset. Like, for example, I just had an example yesterday. I'm not going to give the details, but an example yesterday of is what we do is we help the passengers to have on-time departures. So I was helping a passenger to board faster, to board through a different, down a different jet bridge. And they got upset at me. And they got upset because, so I mean, full stop, it was on them. But also just because we show love, Cody, you and me and the other service ambassadors at United Airlines, we show love to people who show us hate. And so that's why you all should fly United Airlines. SpecialChronicles.com/United to learn more on United's commitment to promoting inclusion for employment and travel. And with that, yeah, that was a little bit longer of a sponsor break, but we had to mention that last break. Nick, because United is our employer for both of us, and so yeah. With that, I think United is going to love that ad break, right?
I believe it, Daniel. They're going to absolutely just blow off the fun time. I'm telling you, they're going to go all over. I bet you when Kristen sees this, it's game over.
Yeah, I know. They're going to love it. With that, you mentioned where people are going to fall, but we remind the listeners, because maybe our listeners paused and they're coming back to listen to this episode. So we remind our listeners where to follow Special Olympics and WWE to watch your live reporting as a WWE Impact Community Correspondent. Where can people follow your correspondence at the WWE event, and then follow Cody you on socials, Special Olympics North America, Special Olympics Colorado. Where can people get all connected?
Well, let's start with my social media because I have one of my own, of course. So I have 3 different names for the social media. I've got X, I'm at Holcomb Field. And on Instagram, it's Cody Field #2, no spaces. And on Facebook, Cody Holcomb Field, the spaces in between Cody and Field. So pretty much simple. And what else? I know there's going to be more social media pages for WWE, like at WWE, at Special Olympics North America, and at Special Olympics Colorado. You guys will see me there. And also, if you watch this live, anyhow, you can replay it also on Peacock because that's where Wrestle Mania is going to be like aired on. So
awesome.
if you like, yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. And so for those of you also that if you are wondering how Cody and I have all these amazing opportunities, it's because of
Special Olympics.
Yeah, Special Olympics. And if you want to become an athlete, a coach, a volunteer, a partner, and you can get involved with your local Special Olympics program. You can learn more at specialolympics.org, and you can connect with your local Special Olympics program. If you're watching the video episode, you can see it down below. We'll put that link in the show notes as well, specialolympics.org. And I knew I had these. I should use these banners more often. I found what I was looking for earlier at the top of the episode. We mentioned the last episode, Cody, that you're on. If our listeners, if you all go to this link will be in the show notes. SpecialChronicles.com/meet Sosas. That's SpecialChronicles.com/meet SOSAS. And you can then click on Denver and then click on Cody's episode. On your last episode. So see, there, I had it. With that, before we get to the final question, Cody, I know this episode is about 35 minutes. It's a little shorter than the past few weeks, but hey, I think we deserve to give our listeners a little shorter of an episode this week because we've been putting out a lot of content every week, and so Well, but it's been a blast having you on, Cody. The time just flew by fast. Flew. Get it? A plane. A plane. Flies.
Yeah, like up the runway, flying and down the landing. I know, it's so easy.
Oh, easy. And so aren't we landing this podcast just so swimmingly? See,
I like it.
I combined an aviation and a sports thing all in one. See how we do that? Cody, it's been a blast having you on again. Do you have any final thoughts on your overall time today on the Special Chronicles podcast? I know.
Yeah, I do actually. No, it's okay. For the final thought, I think that Special Chronicles, for those of you that watch this podcast, you're gonna be blown your mind because Special Olympics and Special Chronicles, we are a huge deal. And of course, we have to make it the living dream, to make it the Flying Spartans era. I'm telling you, we got to make it right.
Totally. I love that final message and with that, we always like to. It's always informative and entertaining, but we don't just want our listeners to be entertained and listen to us, but we want all of you listening to hear Cody's story, hear what we're talking about on this podcast, and bring inclusion into your community, and so with bringing that inclusion and with the kind of that message to kind of to take from this podcast and go out. And that this final question will help you listeners to do just that. And to do just that, we've got a bumper. So let's go ahead and roll that bumper.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising, peaceful protesters
in a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
Dignity,
and the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
Ever since I attended the Special Olympics 2019 World Games in Abu Dhabi, just like our mutual friend Hannah, both of us were there in Abu Dhabi. Ever since Hannah and I got back and I'm sure Hannah will be listening to this episode. So Hannah, shout out to you. I'm sure Hannah will listen. Hannah listens to this podcast. So
I know she does.
Yes. So ever since Hannah and I got back from Abu Dhabi, I've been concluding all these podcasts with one final question that gets to the heart of what this podcast is about. That gets to that helps you listeners take what you hold from Cody, take what you hold on this podcast, and put and bring action of inclusivity and inclusion into your life and into the community. And so with that, Cody, we'll wrap up this episode with having you answer like all the guests the past 5 years have been answering, and that is, what does inclusion in the media mean to you?
What it means to me is like, it's inclusion is the revolution, like they said in the ad back there. This is the inclusion revolution. As long as we include athletes, like my buddy Catherine Darrow, she is going into Denver 7 as a reporter. How different does that make now? Woo! Go Catherine! And by the way, inclusion reporting. That is what I call bringing people together, bringing everyone to the right place at the right time. And the best part about that is inclusion is the only like, it's the only way to live in our community. The only way, because this is the way.
Absolutely, it is the way. It's the inclusion revolution, as our chairman and Special Olympics fan in chief Tim Shriver says. The inclusion revolution, and with that, Cody, that's a perfect way to wrap up this episode. I hope all you have enjoyed hearing from Cody in the field, talking about his experience at the WWE. You guys are hearing Cody's experience before being the WWE Impact Community Correspondent. No, Cody is talking about it before the event taking place. You guys are going to hear this afterwards. It's just weird, Cody's weird science fiction thing when it comes to podcasts. And you're talking about it before the event, and our listeners are going to hear it after the event, because that's the way our production schedule is here at Special Chronicles. With that, we've got a few final reminder plugs that I'll let you all know about. You can, if you want, please visit patreon.com/Special Chronicles and become a member starting at $5 a month or $10, $20, $40 a month. We will soon. We will. If you go to specialchronicles.com, click on Give Now. Specialchronicles.com/give. We will put a link to our Patreon on there, and you can get access to exclusive bonus content, our Patreon pre-show. If you want to see us getting warmed and ready to go on air, all of that fun, our Special Chronicles Plus podcast, and help support the podcast, patreon.com/Special Chronicles. You can also just, if you just would rather, if you don't want the bonus content and just want to make a one-time gift, specialchronicles.com/give. You can also shop our merchandise store. If you're listening to the audio podcast, go check out the video on our YouTube, and you can see this hoodie that I'm wearing, Disabled Voices Matter. 60% of the profits will go back to Special Chronicles. Our store is managed by Outshine Labels. We have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, candles. Specialchronicles.com/shop. Specialchronicles.com/shop to shop our Disabled Voices Matter collection. And keep following the podcast. We got more episodes dropping every week, every Monday. You follow the podcast on specialchronicles.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And Cody, I'll let you and all the listeners in on the guest coming up on the last Monday of April. That is going to be Linda Jojo, Chief Customer Officer at United Airlines. And I'll let you guys know, something else. You want early access to watch that episode with Linda Jojo, Chief Customer Officer at United Airlines, before anybody else. The way to do that is to go to patreon.com/Special Chronicles and become a member at the $20 per month level. And that will give you access to watch it before it comes out to the public. So go, by the time you guys all hear this, go patreon.com/Special Chronicles and become a member at $20 per month. And then you'll be able to watch it 2 weeks before everybody else. So yeah, that's the thank you that we have for all of you to support this podcast. With that, I think we need to get back to our Easter weekend. I know I'm sure, Cody, you're going to be spending time with your family, and I'm going to go. I need to use the not the onboard, but the lavatories.
The latrine. The latrine.
As our chums across the pond say, the loo. I need to go take a little visit to the loo.
It's all right. I'm good with it. Trust me. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I'm good with it.
If I made a plug to go listen to go donate, it's hey, you guys are donating to help us give a voice. So Cody's voice and my voice and the voices of those of us with disabilities on this platform of SpecialChronicles.com, to make that possible, it's because of all, for those of you supporting. And we love you for that. Thank you, Cody, for coming on the Special Chronicles podcast. We'll be back next week. Same place, same time, on demand, anytime. Same time, same place, right here on SpecialChronicles.com. And until then, we can say at the same time. So until then, have a great week. We'll see you next Monday right here on SpecialChronicles.com. And until then, choose to include. We'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.